All right, guys. So it looks like there's been a pretty busy day in Detroit today. They've obviously made a couple of free agent signings. So let's get to them. The Detroit Red Wings have signed forward Vladislav Namestnikov to a 2-year deal worth 2 million per year, average annual value. I think it's a good signing for the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, they get a player who's got lots of upside. He scored 17 goals, 14 assists, 34 points last year. He can kill penalties. He can play up and down your lineup as we saw throughout the year last season. And I definitely think the Red Wings got him at a great price too. I think the Namestnikov left some money on the table for sure. Obviously, he's got connections to the Michigan area, so that probably helps in negotiating. And you noticeably guys that come home per se, they tend to leave money on the table because I think just playing in front of your family and friends, it obviously makes it a lot more exciting for them. It gives them more incentive to leave money on the table and take a pay cut perhaps. He probably wasn't worth the $4 million he was making last year, but I think he could have probably got as much as 3 million for maybe 3 to 4 years even. But I think Detroit's got him on a really good deal. Another great deal they made was getting goaltender Thomas Greiss today. They signed him to a 2-year deal worth 3.6 million per year. This is a great sign for the Detroit Red Wings. They couldn't go into next year with having Jonathan Bernier as their number one. No offense to Bernier. I think he's a good goalie. He's definitely not a number one goalie in this league. He's more better suited as a backup who can maybe play 30 to 35, maybe even 40 games. I wouldn't maybe go that far, but maybe that much. But for Thomas Greiss, he's definitely going to be their number one goalie now. They get him on a 2-year deal, which I think is good considering his age is 34. And goaltenders that get into that mid 30-ish range, they tend to drop off at an unexpected time. So for Detroit, it's a low risk signing. It's a goalie they can rely upon until they get some young guys coming through the pipeline that are ready to play for them full time in net. And for the Red Wings, I mean, if you're a Red Wings fan, don't expect Thomas Greiss to post maybe a 913 save percentage and 2.74 goals against average. I think he's a good goalie, but we have to remember that he did play on the New York Islanders, who are coached by Barry Trotz, and they play that really suffocating style of defense. So for Thomas Greiss, as long as he posts somewhere between a 905 to a 910 even, I think that's really good for Detroit. I don't think the Red Wings are going to play defense quite as well as the Islanders did, but I definitely think Thomas Greiss is going to help in cutting down the goals against for the Detroit Red Wings next year. Also, as a side note, the Detroit Red Wings signed defenseman Troy Stecher to a 2-year deal worth 1.7 million per year. I think this is another great signing for Detroit. Steve Yzerman's been making some really smart moves here so far through the first few days of free agency. Stecher is a guy I like to call sneaky skilled because I think he's got even more offensive upside than people believe he already has. He's a guy that he's not a very big defenseman, but he's a guy I think you're going to like in Detroit. He skates well. Like I said, he's got more offense than people think. And for the Detroit Red Wings, if you're a Red Wings fan, comment down below what you think of these signings. Does it make the Detroit Red Wings drastically better? I personally think it does. First of all, I didn't think they were going to be as bad last year as bad last year, I should say. This upcoming season, I think that was historically bad. I don't know if we'll see that for a while from any team. I think the Red Wings, I definitely don't think it makes them a playoff team, but I think they can get between that 70 to 85 point range. Playoffs is quite a bit of a stretch. These are good signings. I think the Red Wings are going about this the right way. Steve Yzerman's been doing a heck of a job these last few days, especially. And I think the Red Wings are gonna be a much better team for it going forward. And Detroit has lots of cap space, approximately about 19 million, I believe. So we'll see what they do with that. I personally, if I were them, I just kind of leave that alone and see what happens for the most part going forward, because I definitely don't think they're gonna be super competitive next year. But I think they're doing this the right way, as I said. They got cap space though. Maybe they sign another player or two at cheaper deals, but we'll see what happens. Until then, guys, please like and subscribe and share this video, and I'll talk to you again soon.